Welcome to the next session on Leadership Behavior and Styles and Global Controlling under Principles of Management for Semester 6 BTech students. I am Ms.Veena Jayakumar from Rajagiri School of Engineering and Technology. These are the topics that we will be discussing today, that is Leadership Behavior and Styles, whereby we will be discussing on transactional leadership, transformational leadership, autocratic leadership style, democratic leadership style, laissez-faire leadership style and bureaucratic leadership styles, and the next topic will be global controlling. So what is leadership, or who is a leader? Anyone who has the capacity to lead can be defined as a leader. Or according to Burns, leadership is defined as leaders inducing followers to act for certain goals that represent the values and the motivations, the wants and needs, the aspirations and expectations of both leaders and followers. There are two types of leadership, that is transactional leadership and transforming leadership. When we say that there is a transactional leadership, we mean that there is a relationship between the leader and follower, which doesn't go further than bargaining for the purpose of exchanging valuable things. When we say it is a transforming leadership, we mean that the purpose of the leader and follower will become fused. As said before, transaction leadership occurs when one person contacts another person to exchange valuable things. And this exchange can have several natures. That is, it can have an economic swap, or a psychological swap, or a political swap. And when this swap is completed, the two parties can go their separate ways. That is, they are in no way bound together with a higher purpose. In short, we may say that the main goal of the follower is to obey the instructions of the leader. This transactional leadership is also called as telling style. That is, the leader instructs the follower, and once the purpose is over, they don't go for a higher purpose. That is, once the leader instructs the follower and the exchange is complete, they don't go for a higher purpose. Now, where does this power of transactional leader come from? The power of transactional leaders come from their formal authority and responsibility in the organization. Now, some of the assumptions of transactional theory of leadership are: first, employees are motivated by reward and punishment. Second, the subordinates have to obey the orders of the superior. And last, the subordinates are not self-motivated. That is, they have to be closely monitored and controlled to get the work done from them. These are the features of transactional leadership. That is, it is concerned with maintaining the normal flow of operations, and disciplinary power and an array of incentives are used. Subordinates are motivated by exchanging rewards for their performance. It promotes compliance with existing organizational goals and performance expectations. It is basically task and outcome oriented, and it is effective under strict time and resource constraints and in highly specified projects. Moving forward to transformation leadership. So we may define this transformation leadership as a leadership approach that causes change in individuals and social systems. That is, it is a complete rejuvenation of the company and a transformation of its place in the corporate world. Here, the leader and the followers are bound together with a higher purpose when they raise each other's motivation and morality. And the purpose are bound and inseparable. However, The leader takes the initiatives and allows for the communication and the exchange to take place. So unlike transactional leadership, transformational leadership is where it keeps on going or bound together with a higher purpose. But in the case of transactional leadership, it comes to cease or it stops once the purpose is served. The features of transformational leadership are: it focuses on team building, motivation and collaboration with employees at different levels. It provides opportunities for personal and professional growth for each employee. And attempts to link employees' sense of self with organizational values happens. Leading by example, so followers can identify with the leader's vision and values. And it focuses on individual strength and weakness of employees. Let us see some of the implications of transformational leadership behavior. Transformational leadership develops a challenging and attractive vision together with the employees. Not only that, it develops the vision, specifies and translates it to the actions. It ties the vision to a strategy for its achievement. It expresses confidence, decisiveness and optimism about the vision and its implementation. And transformational leadership behavior helps in realizing the vision through small planned steps and small successes in the path for its full implementation. Now these are the difference between transactional and transformational leadership behavior. That is, transactional leadership, their leadership is responsive, whereas under transformational leadership, the leadership is proactive. Under transactional leadership, the works are within the organization culture, and work to change the organizational culture by implementing new ideas comes under transformational leadership. We may say that transactional leaders make employees achieve organizational objectives through rewards and punishment. Whereas in the case of transformational leadership, the leaders motivate and empower employees to achieve company's objectives by appealing to higher ideals and moral values. Under transactional leadership, followers are motivated by appealing to their own self-interest. And under transformational leadership, motivates followers by encouraging them to transcend their own interests for those of the group or unit. That's all about leadership behavior. Now let's proceed to leadership styles. So these are some of the leadership styles: autocratic, democratic, laissez-faire, and bureaucratic. So we have autocratic leadership style. It is also called as authoritarian leadership. So it is basically a leadership style which is characterized by individual control over all decisions and little input from group members. This is used efficiently in situations where leader is most knowledgeable member of the group, or the leader has access to information that other members of the group do not have. Such a type of leadership typically make choices based on their own ideas and judgments and rarely accept advice from their followers. It involves absolute authoritarian control over a group. These are some of the characteristics of autocratic leadership. That is, little or no input from group members, and leaders make the decisions. Group leaders dictate all the work methods and processes, and group members are rarely trusted with decisions or important tasks. Autocratic leadership sometimes prove useful to an organization, especially when decisions need to be made quickly without consulting with a large group of people, or in situations that are particularly stressful, group members may actually prefer an autocratic style. And it allows members of the group to focus on performing specific tasks without worrying about making complex decisions. An autocratic leadership allows group members to become highly skilled at performing certain duties which can be beneficial to the group. Certain drawbacks of autocratic leadership are: autocratic leaders make decisions without consulting the group. Thus, people in the group may dislike that they are unable to contribute any ideas. Next, lack of creative solutions to the problems, which can ultimately hurt the performance of the group. Next, we have democratic leadership style. It is also called as participative leadership. It is basically a type of leadership style where members of the group take a more participative role in the decision-making process. It is considered to be one of the most effective type of leadership and leads to higher productivity, better contributions from group members, and increased group morale. This type of leadership style works best in situations where group members are skilled and eager to share their knowledge. It is also important to have plenty of time to allow people to contribute, develop a plan, and then vote on the best course of action. Some of the characteristics of democratic leadership style are: first, group members are encouraged to share ideas and opinions even though the leader retains the final say over decisions. Members of the group feel more engaged in the process, and creativity is encouraged and rewarded. Some of the benefits of democratic leadership styles are: it helps in creating better ideas and more creative solutions to the problems. This is because group members are encouraged to share their thoughts, and group members also feel more involved and committed to projects, making them more likely to care about the end results. It is also found that democratic leadership style ensures higher productivity. Some of the demerits of democratic leadership style is that it can lead to communication failures and uncompleted projects, especially in situations where roles are unclear or time is of the essence. And in some cases, group members may not have the necessary knowledge or expertise to make quality contributions to the decision-making process. So next we have laissez-faire leadership or delegative leadership. So it is basically a type of leadership style in which leaders are hands-off and allow group members to make the decisions. Researchers have found that this is generally the leadership style that leads to the lowest productivity among group members. Some of the features of laissez-faire leadership are: very little guidance from leaders, complete freedom for followers to make decisions, leaders provide the tools and resources needed, and group members are expected to solve problems on their own. There are certain benefits and downsides of laissez-faire leadership. Some of the benefits of laissez-faire leadership are: it can be effective in situations where group members are highly skilled, motivated, and capable of working on their own. And while the conventional term for this style is laissez-faire and implies a completely hands-off approach, many leaders still remain open and available to group members for consultation and feedback. The downsides of laissez-faire leadership are: it is not ideal in situations where group members lack the knowledge or experience they need to complete tasks and make decisions. Some people are not good at setting their own deadlines. So managing their own projects and solving problems on their own. In such situations, projects can go off track and deadlines can be missed when team members do not get enough guidance or feedback from leaders. Last type of leadership style is bureaucratic leadership style. It is where the manager manages by the book and everything must be done according to procedure or policy. If it is not covered by the book, the manager refers to the next level above him or her. Here, manager is really more of a police officer than a leader. That is, he or she enforces the rules. Now, this style can be very effective when employees are performing routine tasks over and over, or employees need to understand certain standards or procedures, or employees are working with dangerous or delicate equipment that requires a definite set of procedures to operate. Safety or security training is being conducted, or employees are performing tasks that require handling cash. Some of the advantages of bureaucracy is that central authority in bureaucracy makes it effective in organizing. Advocates for bureaucracy have positive views on having hierarchy in an organization. They say that since there is a chain of command, there will be specific roles and tasks for people involved in the departments. This way, management will be able to monitor the performance of the people in lower ranks. Next, it supports the hiring of specialized officials. Another advantage of bureaucracy is that it allows for merit-based hiring and promotion. That is, for a non-elective member of a government agency, he or she should be qualified and pass the qualifying exams to be employed or appointed, as well as climb the hierarchy. This means that whoever is appointed has the knowledge and skills to handle the job. No one will be considered simply because he or she is a relative or a friend of a high-ranking official in the agency. Another advantage is that it plays an important role in policy making, and it follows standard operating procedures. Some of the disadvantages of bureaucracy is that it can hamper achievement of results in time. Critics are arguing that with the certain steps needed to carry out tasks and the need to follow a chain of command to proceed, lots of time can be lost, especially if decisions and results are needed immediately. And it breeds boredom and can affect productivity. That is, the repetitive tasks in specialized jobs, they claim that in time it can bore members of the organization or agency. The routine might just be too much for them and may result to absenteeism and less productivity. Next disadvantage is that it results to passive and rule-based human beings. That is, the strict rules and regulations imposed in bureaucracies seem to remove the freedom of an individual to act and discern on his or her own because of certain restrictions. This, according to some, is not beneficial, and it can result to inefficiency. In bureaucracy, there is less competition since hiring and promotion is based on merits and qualifications. So once a person is appointed, he or she has a fixed salary, works on specialized tasks and cannot function outside the sphere of the department he or she belongs to. So some people see this as unproductive and a disadvantage because it can demoralize civil servants who belong in a bureaucracy. Now let's proceed to next topic on global control. In the present day context, we know that the workplace is increasingly multicultural and diverse. Employees are required to work together with colleagues from different parts of the world with varied backgrounds, customs and practices. Many products and services are produced for export. Not only that, organizations are outsourcing their work to countries having low labor costs to stay competitive. Thus, we may say that workplace will have more diversity as opportunities for global expansion increases. We can find that organizations are hiring professionals with different backgrounds, and it is necessary for organizations to expand the capacity for people to handle these challenges of working with other cultures if they are to participate successfully. Thus, leaders must be adaptive and flexible to manage these diverse workforce. For this, an understanding of historical, political and economic references of people who work in the organization is a must. In short, leaders must understand differences in worldview, communication styles, ethics and etiquette of the people they deal with both internally and externally. So how do we understand these different cultures? According to Richard B. Lewis, the different nations and cultures can be put into three groups, namely linear active, multi-active and reactive. Under linear active, people focus on a scheduled timeline and like to do one thing at a time. That is, people in these cultures are task-oriented planners. Under multi-active, people belonging to these cultures are more focused on interactions and dialogues. That is, meetings are given priorities and discussions and dialogues help to build relationships. Under reactive, people belonging to this type of culture are more introverted. They are respect-oriented listeners and concentrate on what people have to say without interruption, and even if they interrupt, it is rarely done. Thus, leaders must understand different cultures when they work in an organization which has employees belonging to different cultures. And we must be cautious and avoid working with unverified assumptions. That is all about leadership, behavior and styles, and also global controlling. Thank you.